Peacemaker topped the trending TV charts last week, scoring 699,000 engagements on Twitter for the season finale. And most of these are just hate tweets. No, that's
Yeah.
not official, but that's just something that people have to accept, that even people who are, hating on something every single day are adding to the engagement and success of a show or a movie. And look at how popular this became. This is on top of the chart, um, beating Super Bowl and also the Olympics. So this is huge.
And also, James Gunn did reveal that from the premiere episode to the season finale, it had a 44% increase of
Yeah,
audience. So 44% more people watched it from episode 1 to episode 8. And also, it's also the biggest single day opening for a HBO Max series for that episode. So like it was bigger than a lot of people were anticipating, and it didn't flop as people said it would.
yeah, and I think it's already better than the Suicide Squad. I think James created something really good here, which can continue to see season two. I hope, and I think the second season can be just way better than this one, because season one was great, but it wasn't as much of a massive scale as James Gunn's other projects. So there's still room for adding all that stuff if he wants to. But I like that he kept the season one close to Peacemaker's character and his development throughout the series. He has a good arc. The other characters are pretty good as well, and the story is pretty good. The most important thing is he stuck the landing with the finale, and that's what would make people to watch the second season, and whatever else James Gunn would be doing, because he has revealed that he will be working on some other show as well, from a spin-off of Suicide Squad. So yeah, I'm interested in that as well. I'm always going to be a James Gunn fan of of his work, and I've loved the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, both of them. I liked Suicide Squad, but not as much as Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker is pretty good, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, and people just hated on the show, but like I don't think like we have our circle on Twitter of fans who really love Zack Snyder, and they get it hard to like anything outside of that because they love Zack so much and they hate how he was treated and stuff like that. So the bubble that we kind of see on our own Twitter, our own timeline, isn't necessarily the general audience bubble. You
Yeah.
know, isn't generally the entire comic book audience bubble. So we might not see the positivity that the show is getting from every tweet on our timeline, but it obviously did do well for people to check it out, for people to watch it, and the people to stream it. But like the thing with streaming, you can boycott a movie in cinemas, and it can have a negative surrounding and not do well financially. But with and you can have direct numbers about a box office failure. You know, a movie made 100 million on a $200 million budget, then it failed. But streaming is different because these companies don't necessarily always take in the views. They also take in the engagement around it because people talking about Peacemaker online with 700,000 tweets doesn't necessarily mean, of course, 700,000 people didn't watch it necessarily, those 700,000 Twitter users or those tweets. But what it means is people are talking about Peacemaker, which is a HBO Max show, which is a streaming service. So the HBO Max as a streaming service is getting engagement, it's getting talked about, whether it's positive or negative, which drives people to that platform, which drives people talking about that platform, and that's what they want. They want to get their streaming service talked about in hope that subscribers go up. Same with Netflix, same with Amazon Prime. When there's a big discussion around something, this is what they want. They want this online buzz around it. So I think what piece like on TikTok right now, the opening scene is a big thing for people to do because it's a dance and and it's really big. So James Gunn did really well in presenting a show that could reach general audiences for me in terms of the dance, because that's what TikTok is now. It's all these kind of these trends and these themes that are going on, and that attached to that fan base on Twitter, on TikTok, and here on Twitter, it was negative, it was positive. but there was engagement towards it, and that's kind of what they want to a degree. And I think James Gunn and the cast did a pretty good job doing the watch parties every single week, which were enjoyable and fun. And you get some insight into the episodes. Then articles are written about what he talked about. YouTube videos are done about what he talked about. So that there, the show gets bigger and bigger as the week goes on. You may see your friend live tweeting about Peacemaker, like, what's this show? I'll check it out. So maybe I can interact with my friend online tweeting about it as well. So it gains exposure every single time. And I think general audiences had a great time with the series. I think John Cena's got a huge fan base through wrestling. His box office in terms of wrestling pay-per-views has always been high. He has the most viewed original movie on Hulu of all time, Vacation Friends. Now he has one of the biggest HBO Max shows of all time. So he's doing pretty well, and he has an audience on this streaming platform at the moment. So it's kind of a surprise considering the Suicide Squad didn't do well at the box office, but also it shows that maybe these characters, maybe this tone that James Gunn has is better suited to streaming. I don't think Warner Brothers would be against that, because then again, it is money, and it is driving subscribers to HBO Max.
Yeah, and you bring up the watch parties, and I think that's one of the key factors that a lot of these movies have high engagement on social media as well. Because, like you said, that's a key part of how this spreads, for streaming shows or movies, right? Because people talk about them online, and because of that, a lot of people want to watch it. So a lot of people just, for example, you might have seen scrolling through Twitter every single day about like at least 5 tweets about Euphoria. And I don't watch Euphoria. And I know some people who actually started watching Euphoria just because of those tweets. They keep popping every single day. And that's not the show marketing it to them. That's just people talking about it. So just the fact that the watch parties happen for every single movie or show that HBO Max had with DC. Starting with Wonder Woman 84, they had the watch party for that. And then we had the Snyder Cut, they had the watch party. Zack did a watch party for that as well. And then we had the Suicide Squad. Even for that, there was a watch party, and now Peacemaker. For every single episode, every single week, there was a watch party. So yeah, I think these are definitely crucial in creating hype for these shows, as so many people talk to the creators directly. They tweet at them, they discuss each episode, and I think it's a pretty good thing. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and season 2 was announced before the season finale. We had the Justice League in season 1, 2 of the 4 actors, of course, but season 2 is automatically going to get a bigger budget. And that means we could get more Justice League members showing up. We could get bigger characters showing up, which I think will happen, because I think now,
Hopefully.
I think what he's set himself up for is every single season needs to have an awesome opening dance sequence.
Yeah.
And every single season needs to have references and Easter eggs to the larger DC comics, like Kite Man, Batmite, the Man Eater guy, whoever that was, and then cameos. And what's bigger than the Justice League? Next time, get actual Superman, actual Batman, actual Wonder Woman next time. Hopefully the actual connection with the talent is better,
Yeah.
in terms of contracts and stuff like that. Then if that's the case, you could have Henry Cavill showing up, or Sasha Calle showing up, or Michael Keaton showing up, which would drive even more people talking about the show as well. And you could argue that the only reason the show is talked about like this is because the Justice League showed up. Yeah, you could argue that, but you could also argue Spider-Man No Way Home did well at the box office because Tobey and Andrew were in it. You could also argue that the Batman is great because of this or that. Like, you can have whatever argument you want. It was a story, 8 episodes, and the Justice League happened to show up in the last episode. So, and it obviously worked for them, considering it's one of the biggest shows they've had.
And nobody knew that they were going to show up, so people tuned in regardless.
Yeah, and my brother doesn't watch like stuff every single week, like us and stuff like that. He's an average viewer, but I show him the scene. He was like, "Holy fuck, that's pretty awesome. That's cool." And he didn't care that it wasn't Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
he didn't care. And when Jason and Ezra showed up, he laughed, and he didn't even understand the context of the joke about the F and fish and stuff like that. But he still thought it was cool to see the characters show up. And he never even said to me, "Where's Henry Cavill?"
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of people like that who were like, "Oh, Jason Momoa, Flash."
Dude, the
So
general audience thinks Wonder Woman is from Marvel.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
They don't care about
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think if you have a cool cameo like that, the whole Justice League showing up, they'll definitely enjoy it. But yeah, I think I liked the fact that that wasn't the draw for the show, cameos or something like that. The show was specifically about Peacemaker, and even in that scene, the show didn't bow down to the Justice League. It was still a Peacemaker scene. You know, he still had the upper hand in that scene, and I like that because it's his perspective, his show. So I'm cool with stuff like that. Maybe in season two, if they are trying to get a new cameo or something like that, maybe they could get a hero to actually help Peacemaker in a full-on action scene. Because you know that maybe that was the intention for Aquaman, with Aquaman in season one itself, but maybe since James got the entire Justice League, he shot that scene, and also due to budget things and all that. I think definitely, like you said, the season two budget will definitely increase, so he could have a full-on action scene with one of the members or some other hero that's yet to be introduced, like Supergirl or Batgirl.
yeah. Be cool way to open season two. Is like Peacemaker's on a mission, and like I don't know, like Aquaman shows up or the Flash or somebody shows up because it's in their territory or something like that. And
Yeah, it's like the
Peacemaker's like,
boys.
yeah, if he was like, Peacemaker's like, fuck off, I have this,
Yeah,
something like that. Or then it'd be kind of funny if like one of the Justice League members showed up and kind of helped Peacemaker, but then they got all the media buzz
yeah,
and all the cameras were towards the Justice League, and Peacemaker gets no credit for it.
yeah.
I think I could see James Gunn doing something like that. I think that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, it's something that happens in The Boys when there's some water mission they send in the deep and
Yeah,
accompany him with that Starlight. What was her name? Starlight, right?
I can't remember it. Probably Starlight. Yeah,
So her and Deep together. Nobody cares about the Deep, and they just go to Starlight. So something like that, it would be cool. But yeah, I can see season two being way bigger and better than season one, definitely.
yeah. We'll be
And
there to
it'll
watch
get
it,
more
and I'm
hate.
sure we'll be there to watch it, and I'm sure people will be there to tweet about it. So the show will just do fine.
Absolutely.